And welcome back to another BobBlast. Hi, I'm Bob Burridge, and this one is about the design of your painting. The Constellation and floating design. Two designs in one, two for the price of one. So right from my Constellation and my floating sketches comes a big one. So you do a lot of sketching first. So I do have a chart. I made a chart for myself. It has about 16 designs that I happen to like to use. Holds the whole painting together. So this one has not one, but two designs all put it together, kind of like a floating design and also constellation design. Let's put them back together. And it's like things floating in space. Let's get started. Well, let's get started. I have a sheet of watercolor paper, 15 inches by 15 inches. And my colors are white, black, and then the primer is red, yellow, blue. Sitting here ready to go. Big brush, nothing tiny here. And we're talking about floating. Ooh, that means things are all over the place. Floating, wandering, floating. This is a pencil, water-soluble pencil. I'm just kind of getting into the spirit right now, the whole thing. Floating means there's no top or bottom here. The camera's showing one side and I'm painting on the other side. It doesn't matter. There's no top or bottom in this one because everything's floating. There's no light. There's no shadow. It's anything I want it to be. So let's get started. Here's the, I think I'm going to have it a color that just makes people go nuts. Green. So I'm going to go for a light green all over it. So that's going to be the dominant color, this light green. Now let's get started. Yeah, get it all over this place. Some of those pencil marks are starting to bleed already. I like that. Add a little bit of black to this green, so it's not so green, so to speak. I'm going to add a little bit of white and a little yellow in there. Why not? Whoa. White, black, and green. This is just the background color. So it's kind of a spatial, not really looking up into space, but definitely a spatial situation where things are way far away and things are close. Okay, that's an interesting beginning. I'm gonna add more white to it. There. Oh, it's like a mint green right now with some pencil marks and dark areas, light areas. I'm gonna make one area even lighter. So now I have some choices. I like that. That's the first part. Let's get another brush. Now, floating. Gosh, what does that mean? Things that look like they're floating. So I have some red in here. The primary is ready to go. And my black, the pencil. So let's get into floating things. I think I'm going to start off with some black things floating first. And more of a minimalist on this one. Having things going off the page. I don't want them to look like something, you know what I mean? So these are like bodies of planetary things just floating. Could be underwater. All right, we'll start with this. So I have busy areas and quiet areas. That's what I'm looking for. But now, to make it more interesting, put some red in the middle. Oh. Doing here. Add a little more depth to it. Certainly much more interesting. And I'm going to now go for some blue. Get some blue in here. That's interesting, huh? Nice color blue with white in it. All of a sudden that became the focal point, didn't it? So I'm gonna mix. Pull it more bit together over here. Strange, huh? And now let's get another clean brush and some green. More green. A dark green. Ooh, a dark green. I like this choices here. Things. And now something drastic. It has to do something drastic with this after a while. I mean, they're a real make me want to stop. And here we go. I'm just going to do something almost makes no sense. That's okay. A long time ago, I decided to stop making sense. Yeah. Well, a nice surprise. And coming back into here, a little bit more excitement. So that's the beginning of a painting that has the floating design. See, there's no shadow, so everything must be floating. And the constellation, it could be a pattern. The constellation can represent a Greek hero or ancient mythology or something like that. But right now it's just scattered around, having great freedom. I would love to see what this would look like with a white mat around it. Right now I have all this other competition, the palettes, the paper, and the brushes. I'm going to put a piece of white paper behind it to act as a mat. Let's take a look. So after this has dried, I can put it on the wall and look at it, or if it's too wet, all I need to do is put it on a larger piece of white paper to act like a mat. There you go. And now this is the time that I can really see the painting and not be looking over here. So it gives me an idea. It's what I want to do next. Well, what I want to do next is to draw. I love drawing. Add more mystery to this whole thing. And I like to say, this isn't the time to make sense. This is the time to paint and see what else you can do. Make it interesting for yourself, too. You don't want to bore them into looking at your painting. If they stop to look at it, show them something. I like to have a surprise. And I like marks. I love drawing. This is a water-soluble Derwent Pitt artist pencil. Well, it's busy over here. I like it. Well, there you go. I mean, I'm just having like way too much fun right now. That's kind of nice. There you go. So this is a combination of two designs, the floating and the constellation. I'm making up my own constellation. So that's the fun of picking a strong design, graphic design, no matter how badly you paint it. If you have a good, strong graphic design, it kind of holds together okay. I hope you have a good time and go play and put two compositions together. What the heck? It should be fun. Don't be safe. Be a painter. Thanks a lot for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the next BobBlast.